Hey guys, back here with another video. This time I'm going to talk about the 10 essential items that you should have when venturing out into backcountry. I'll admit I don't always have all 10 with me when I do, but I try to at least have some of the items. And the list originally originated back in the 1930s from a Seattle-based mountaineering club, and they had 10 items that they had. Basically it's 1 map, 2 compass, 3 sunglasses, 4 extra clothing, 5 flashlight, 6 or headlamp it says, 6 first aid, 7 fire starter, 8 matches, 9 knife, and 10 extra food. Back in 2003 they actually updated that list, and instead of having individual items they grouped them into a system or category. So 1 would be navigation, 2 would be sun protection, 3 is insulation, 4 illumination, 5 first aid, 6 fire, 7 repair kits and tools, 8 nutrition, 9 hydration, and 10 emergency shelter. So my list may vary, or my items that I choose may vary from other people's, and it may have more than 10 items. But I try to at least cover the basics. So number 1 would be a map and compass. And it would be the navigation department here. And preferably if you have a waterproof topographic map of the region that you're going to be venturing out in, would be highly recommended, and a compass, and know how to use it. I'll admit I'm not the best orienteering person, I'm trying to get better at it, but it's good to have. Also in modern technology I like to use a GPS. Hate to say it, but I use that probably more than a map and compass. With that I have a 100K base map topographic of the United States, and I also have 20K resolution of the local areas that I'm going to be traveling in. 2 would be sun protection, and that would be, I like to use a wide brimmed hat. It's for the head. Also sunglasses, not a bad thing to have. Sunscreen, lip balm, that kind of stuff. Sunburn can ruin your day, of course. That goes into exposure. 3 is insulation, extra insulation. I usually carry in a bag that could, depending on the season, some kind of polypropylene or synthetic material under, long underwear, pants or what have you, gloves, hat, something extra there. The number 4 would be an illumination, and that could be way of a flashlight, obviously. I like to carry a small 1-cell battery flashlight, and this is a neutral tint, and that helps you with color rendition. It has a high CRI, I believe of CRI of 90, so lets you see separations in the woods better. I also supplant that with a headlamp for hands-free operation. This has a red filter over to preserve night vision if you don't want to screw up your night vision. These also take the same battery. Surefire Vision headlamp in a neutral tint. Awesome. Number 5 is first aid, and they sell a lot of commercially made first aid kits. I like these ones by Adventure Medical. I also supplant it with other items in here that weren't in here that I find useful. The other thing a lot of these medical kits don't include is some way of mitigating high blood loss, so I supplant that with a trauma bandage and some clotting material. Number 6 is fire, and it's pretty obvious. You could use some type of this is like a flint and steel ferro rod sparker. Believe it or not, but it's like a simple lighter, like a Bic lighter would be fine. Quickest way to make fire. Also, if you run out of fuel, you can use you can still spark some type of material. And I also like to use these Espit cubes tablets. So if I can't find dry wood or what have you, at least I can get some kind of a flame going. Waterproof matches are good too, of course. The number 7 is repair kit and tools, and this is where like your knives and multi-tools would come in handy. And then The main advantage of using a multi-tool out in the wilderness is the pliers part, so you can pull off cactus or pricklies or grab a hot pot, what have you. I like the scissors on here too. Probably won't use the screwdriver as much unless you're doing repairing your gear. Also, I like to have some type of a quality folding knife on me. This is for like more fine work. It's pretty lightweight. It has a titanium handle. Some type of a fixed blade knife is probably nice to have. Sometimes it might be impractical to carry one, but this is definitely good to have for processing wood, making shelter. Probably the main things for that. But like I said, it may not be practical due to the size. Also, if I know I'm going to be out there for a while, I might bring along a folding saw. Not necessary, again, size and weight restrictions. Number 8 would be nutrition, and that would be food. Now here you can go in different directions. I like these dehydrated Mountain House type meals. As you can see, they're kind of bulky, and they require hydration, but they're not bad. They taste pretty good. They come in different flavors. You can also get a pouch that, they call it the Mountain House oven, where you heat up the water and then you can stick this in there and go cook it, which is pretty good. Another one, size per calorie, is probably what these call the LRPs, the long range reconnaissance patrol rations. More calories, in a small size, but again, it needs hydration. If you don't want to hydrate your food, you can also probably get some kind of an energy bar, some protein bars. Or you could go the way of these, they call it lifeboat rations. These are little cubes, you can rip them out and take them out, but these are Daytrex. A couple of companies make them. They're basically coconut flavored wafers you eat. High calories. But do not require hydration or refrigeration, which is nice. But I guess, I was going to say food is probably not as high priority as the next item on the list, which is hydration, water. Because as they say, it's in threes. 3 hours without shelter, probably, in an inclement weather, you can only survive 3 hours. 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. I mean, sure, it wouldn't be very fun without it, but you could probably do without food far, far earlier than without water. So water, a couple ways to do it. You can, of course, use the standard Nalgene bottles. These wide mouth bottles are good. Carry a lot of water. They're pretty durable. Kind of bulky, but they work. On that same vein, if you get one that's metal, they're a little more durable, a lot heavier, but you can also boil the water in here. So this might be a better option for treating your water in the wilderness if you run out and you don't carry a lot. What I like to do is I've upgraded since then. Is Nalgene also makes more like a military style canteen. And nice thing about this is it's not as wide as the Nalgene bottle. The wide mouth one. So in terms of portability, it's a little better. And nice thing about these is it also fits in the standard GI metal cup, which does not take up a lot of room at all. Of course, advantage of this, if you run out of water, because you'll never be able to carry as much water as you need, because it's one of the heaviest things. But with this, you can boil the water, and that'll hydrate your dehydrated foods. Another option is probably to have some kind of aside from boiling, they have filters. This is a life straw. Basically, you can stick it in water and just drink right out of it. In an emergency, it's better than nothing, and it's very compact and portable. The other option would be, if you think you're going to be out there longer, Sawyer system. They make a Sawyer squeeze. Basically, it's a bladder you fill up and you squeeze the water through and drink it. Not a bad option, actually. It's very lightweight. And another option for purifying water is, this is a newer high-tech version of it. They call it a steri pen. It's basically a UV light that you turn on, and you can purify probably this much water in less than a minute. So you just turn it on, stick it in there, kind of swish it around for a while, and that kills all the critters in there. Basically what it does is it neuters them. I don't know if it'll kill everything in terms of, it's not going to kill chemicals or what have you, but it's not bad. Just another option. It does require a battery, but it's the same battery that's used in my flashlight and headlamp, which is nice. So I try to standardize that. It's one of those nice to have. But yeah, water is very important. Next to the next option is emergency shelter. Here, sure, I'd like to bring a small tent with me because you're getting full protection with no-seam netting and what have you. But it may not be practical due to the weight and size. So next best thing would be some type of a tarp. I like to use this sill nylon poncho. Basically, it's a poncho with snaps that you wear, and you can fold it out into a tarp, and you could guy it out. That'll protect you from rain or what have you. But I would also supplant that with some type of a bivy, and this is a SOL Escape Bivy. This is a breathable one, which is nice, so you're not going to be all sweaty and clammy. And it doesn't weigh much, and it's good to have. So you set up your tarp and crawl into this thing. Wait for rescue. It'll buy you some time. So that's the 10 essential items, but there are things that I like to add to supplant that. Look at all this stuff. That's a lot of stuff. Let's take some of those items out that I probably wouldn't bring. But let's say, yeah, this right here. Of course, your cell phone. That's a lot of stuff. That's not going to fit in a small bag. You're going to need at least some type of a backpack to carry it in. And this is not including any fun stuff that you might bring, like, photography equipment or what have you. So that's why to carry the 10 essentials and do it right, you're going to need a good backpack. And on top of that, I'm going to be adding other stuff that I like. Since I like to carry my electronics out in the backcountry, my cell phone, everyone has one of these. I'd like to have some way of powering it in case the battery dies, and this is what they call one of those lipstick form factor battery packs. And here I could just plug in a USB based charger that plugs into the phone here. I could top that off. I could top off my GPS, and this one also happens to have a flashlight built in, which is kind of cool. So you got some redundancy going on there. Other nice thing to have, probably, I like to bring a water purification tablets too, just to supplant the water. I like a layered system because you're not going to go very far without water. Of course, a space blanket is probably not a bad idea to have. This can help reflect heat back to you. If you have to build a shelter, you can wrap this up for more warmth. Goes in the insulation category. Some duct tape. You can't go wrong with duct tape. Multi-uses. Everything from, blister treatment to repairing holes or rips or tears in your clothing or equipment. You name it, I could probably use more of that. Another thing that's probably good is have some type of a cordage, some kind of a rope. This is a parachute cord, paracord they call it. And this just happens to be a bright green one just for visibility. You could use this though, everything from shelter building, hang your food, in bear country. Multiple uses. A nice thing about these is you rip it open, there's 5 to 7 strands that you could use for finer work. You could get them in lower profile colors, but we're not evading anyone here. We're just trying to survive, so that's why I chose that color. A red bandana, probably wouldn't be a bandana some type, wouldn't be a bad idea to have. You could use this to filter the water as you're putting it into your canteen or your water bottle from the river or lake. That'll get some of the sediment out. Also, red is a good high visibility color for signaling. And you could use this for, as a poor man's tourniquet, sweat mitigation. Lots of uses. Doesn't take hardly any weight in your pack. I like to carry some hand sanitizer. Keep things clean after you do your business, or you don't want lip balm. I like this. This is a accessory for the canteen system, so if I want to boil water, stick this on here, like so, and I can put one of the S-bit cubes underneath there. One or two, and that'll be a nice platform to boil water. Doesn't take up much room. Let's see what else. Some type of insect repellent. I like these DEET wipes. It's more of a comfort thing, but it could be also a safety issue if you're out there and if you have to spend any amount of time out there. You don't want to be eaten up by bugs. If your cell phone's out of range, can't get communication, if you have some type of a two-way radio, it's nice to have. This one will also get weather channels. And oh, by the way, this requires licensing, so if you're not a ham operator, although I think in an emergency they'll forgive you, but get your ham license, it's not a big deal. Gives you access to repeaters and things of that nature. And another thing I like to carry, kind of redundant to this, is some type of a pocket survival kit, survival pack. And I keep this in my pocket, so if you're separated from your pack, all this stuff somehow falls off the edge of the cliff, at least I'll have this. And this has some of the items that this has. You see duct tape, you see signaling, ways to make fire, got some tinder going on in there. Yeah, I would rather have all this, but having this in your pocket at all times on you is not a bad thing. So there you go, guys. That's the, actually there's one other cool thing. This is again, going back to water, this is a collapsible water bottle. So when you're not using it, you can collapse it. And you could use this to get dirty, untreated water and pour it into your canteen or wherever you want to purify. That way it's not going to contaminate your clean drinking water. But there you go, guys. That's about it. That's the 10 essential items for backpacking, wilderness, backcountry adventures. I know most people don't carry half this crap. I know I don't. I try to. If I know I'm going to be out in an area that it could be potentially hazardous or dangerous, definitely. But more often than not, people that you're with probably aren't going to have any of this stuff, so having it might save them as well. Alright, guys. Until next time, see you later.